Well, welcome back up to the tower at Trinity English for another edition of The View from Here. I'm blessed to be up here this morning with Angie Moellering. Angie is the Executive Director of Lutheran Social Services of Indiana, LSSI, as we like to call it. Angie, welcome to the top of the tower, and it's good to be here with you.
Well, great to be here, Pastor.
Thanks. So, tell us a little bit about LSSI.
Well, we try to work very holistically. Our mission statement talks about expressing the love of Jesus and helping families to become whole, both spiritually, emotionally, and socially. So we really look at the whole person. And one of the things we do for families is help move them to greater stability. That's very important to us, that families become stable, not just while they're working with us, but long term.
What do you do? How do you go about doing that?
Yes, yeah. So our programs really work together, very integrated. And again, because we're addressing the whole person.
So what are some of those?
Sure.
For them?
So one of the things that we do is our LSSI Works program. And that program is really helping those that have been chronically unemployed and underemployed enter full-time stable employment. And so the two unique things about that, one is we work on the whole person. We work on the me part, that personal development. So one of our very early exercises is having them stand in front of a full-length mirror and say, what do you see? And many times people that have trouble entering full-time employment, they struggle with the images they have of themselves. So sometimes they tell themselves very negative things. And so what we do is help to turn that thinking around so that they start to have that more positive view of themselves that they're going to need when they enter the workforce. The other thing is we stay with them for 1 year after they reach that employment. The reason we do that is we want them to be stabilized. We want them to keep that job, not just get the job, but keep that job so they can sustain their family, earn a livable wage, and also have benefits. So that's one of our key programs. One of our programs that often churches are familiar with is our Cup of Kindness program, or financial stability. And that is one of those programs that goes across the board at Lutheran Social Services. Typically, if you're a client at Lutheran Social Services, you are getting some kind of financial stability lessons or curriculum, helping individuals. So now I earn a better paycheck. How do I spend that wisely? How do I create a savings account? That program, Cup of Kindness, Financial Stability, is supported by our churches. And Pastor, Trinity English has been such a major supporter of that program. You give to us every year, and we use those dollars to create that foundation for that financial stability that then we infuse in all of our programs.
Right. Now, your title is Lutheran Social Services.
Yes.
So, do I have to be Lutheran to participate in your program?
Absolutely not. Our mission statement talks about serving all people, and we really serve those who come to us. And the reason it's called Lutheran Social Services, it was started by Lutherans back in 1901. So you talked about Trinity English being built in, 1926?
Well, 1846. But this building,
particular.
Yep.
But so Lutherans were really busy, right? Mid-1800s to mid-1900s in infusing this community with social services, with hospitals, with churches, and that continues today. So we really consider our foundation as Lutheran, and we know that it's Lutheran churches and individuals in Lutheran churches that give to us, again, that create that stability for our organization.
Sure.
So we can innovate these programs like LSSI Works. We wouldn't be able to innovate new programs if we didn't have that fiscal stability as an organization.
Right.
And you know what? We really, we're looking at the community and what the community need is, what the gaps are in the community. So some of our newer programs, like LSSI Works, like our therapy program that we have, Balance Works, is really geared toward those gaps that we see in the community. The other thing we do is we work with other social service organizations, we work with churches, so that when those gaps come along and we try to fill those, we know we don't fill them alone as Lutheran Social Services. You know, I talk about a lot that there are complex needs in our society today. I mean, that's not a secret, right? That they're very complicated, and not any one of us as a social service organization, as a church, can meet those needs by ourselves. And so really being integrated. And so, yes, we started LSSI Works because we saw that our clients and our other programs were really struggling to not just get into the workforce, but stay in the workforce, to find those stable long-term jobs that really stabilizes their family. In our Balance Works program, so it addresses trauma, and it's a very deep dive on trauma. And the reason that program came about is, again, we were seeing in the clients that we served and those that came to us, for them to really get into living life to the fullest, how God created them to live, they needed to deal with some of that trauma that had come into their lives. So doing that deep dive on trauma, we talk about, we go after root causes. So we want to treat symptoms, but we really want to address the root cause. What causes family to get in this situation?
Right. Now, you all are located right over there,
exactly,
right where that crane is,
exactly.
Ish.
Yeah.
And I know that crane is working on the new rescue mission.
Yes.
And you all are located right there, and I think
a block away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donovan Coley is our friend, friend of Trinity, and I think he's used the language, a corner of compassion. That you all are going to be there. You all are there, and rescue mission is going to be there. Matthew 25 is around the block, basically.
Right.
That there's this little nexus of compassion and concern that are expressed in our city, right up where you all are.
Exactly. And so, the neat thing is we don't necessarily need a space to do that. So we are working together with the rescue mission already, and we provide that workforce development piece.
Right, and I know you do that. Yes.
Yes, for the people that are in their program. And what works wonderfully is they stabilize them in so many ways, with a place to live, with good programming, with biblical teaching, those kind of things. And then when they're ready to launch into the workforce, then we serve them in LSSI Works while they're stable there at the rescue mission. It's a wonderful partnership.
Yeah. What else are you all working on?
Yeah. So let me talk a little bit about our Balance Works program. Really? And that is a mental health initiative that we started about 3 years ago. And the great thing about it is that we take private insurance and we take Medicaid. We also are able to do some self-pay as well. But the key in that is we have a process. It's called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is a big, long term. I'm a layperson in that field. So what I say when I explain it is it's like a laser focus on trauma. And we can think of big T trauma, like if someone has been through child abuse or they came from domestic violence. But a lot of us have little T trauma. So something in our childhood, something that we've heard along the way that kind of gets in there and it bothers us. When we go to get a new job, we're like, well, you can't do that. We tell ourselves that. Or, we go back to those family get-togethers. Have you ever gone back to a family get-together and you feel like this accomplished person and you get there and you revert back to like your 10-year-old self?
This is Wednesday. We're filming this Wednesday after Thanksgiving, so we all might have faced that.
Just experienced
within the last week.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you don't call that a trauma, but that's something that gets stuck in there. That and through EMDR, through that reprocessing, again, it goes back to the root cause. So what is it that we tell ourselves about ourselves that's really not true? Other people don't see us in that light, but it gets stuck in there. So we have had some wonderful success. So I mentioned LSSI Works. Those individuals go through Balance Works sometimes. What is that thing that gets stuck in there for them that they can't get beyond to maintain employment? And so we help them work on that. Right. And the great thing about that therapy is that you don't have to know what that is coming in, because through the EMDR process, through the reprocessing, your brain brings that up. Your body brings that up because you know what that is inside. You may not be able to articulate it. So it's a very innovative therapy. It's been around for about 25 years, and it is evidence-based. So it's not just something that we made up like in the back room.
It's not black science.
Yeah.
You're saying
we didn't make it up in the back room of LSSI. It really is something that's been tried and true. It's a little bit newer to the Midwest, and all of our therapists are certified. It's a wonderful thing. That has then led us at a launching point to do some recovery care. So now we're working with families. So a lot of times when there's someone who is addicted in the family, maybe they've even experienced an overdose, the family is traumatized. And the family needs to work on their own recovery.
Sure.
Because we kind of all go through that recovery process together when we have a loved one who is suffering from substance abuse. disorder.
Yeah.
So we come alongside and help the family through some therapeutic processes. So we're very excited about that program. That's a brand new program, and it's in partnership with the Lutheran Foundation, with Parkview, and with the Fort Wayne Police Department. So very excited about that. I think it keeps us fresh and it keeps us engaged in the community. You don't want to become irrelevant. And so it keeps us in coming, and that's why, again, we like to partner, because it's through those partnerships that we really get at that systemic change for families.
Yeah. Well, we find that even here as well. We count you all as a partner, and many of the people who come up here with me, we think of them as our partners in ministry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful to Trinity English. I mean,
Sure.
you engage us as partners, and I know you hold a quarterly luncheon, and we come together, and it's important. I think if we don't come together at periodic points to talk about our work and how we help families, then that partnership is lost. So thank you for your leadership in that whole area, and for reaching out to us. You don't just wait till we come to you. You're like, hey, you need to come over here and have a conversation. So we appreciate that.
Well, and it's a fun thing for us who work here to be able to engage that way, and to hear the things other people are doing, to sometimes glam onto your work, and let it be part of ours as well.
I like that, glamming on. I think you may have coined a new collaboration phrase.
Let's glam on this.
Our annual celebration coming up on March 5th, 2020, which will be here before we know it.
Oh,
it's
my
like
gosh.
4 months away. I know, it's hard to think. But it's called Unfinished, and it is that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to the day of completion.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend in London, Sam Wells, and Sam just came out with the book of something that he believes in passionately, that being Christian is about having a belief that the future is better than the present. And regardless of how fantastic the present is, or even how bleak the present might seem, that in God the future is always better than the present.
Right.
And being Christian, for him, part of being Christian is holding on to that sense that
absolutely.
in the, that's what we talk about on Easter Sunday, that in the future, God is the future, and it will always be better than the present.
Right, absolutely. I just tell you, one of my biggest areas of respect for you just grew because you came out here with no hat, no gloves. So
I'm standing here with all
of this on.
I'm standing here with my hands shoved down into my pockets.
Yeah, I already respected you, but now it's grown.
It is. If you're watching this, it is cold up here today, and it gets a little windy up here.
Yeah,
too.
you're just toughing it out. Good for you.
Yeah. If we want to find out more about the work that LSSI is doing, where do we go to find that out?
Yes, we'll go to www.lssin.org. So that's lssin.org. And then you can just find our Facebook page from there. I think we tweet. all those good things.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Angie, thanks for making the trek up here
Thank
on
you so much.
blustery day. It's great to be up here with you.
Yeah, it's great.
Hear about the work that you're involved in, hear about the work that LSSI does and is engaged in now, and how it's evolving.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much. Thank you for your support, your partnership.
Our pleasure. And thanks to all of you who are watching this, and we'll see you again the next time on View From Here.